Hello, I'm Golna Saidar Jamshidi, Dr. Peterson's GTA. Today we are going to talk about Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I've provided you a brief outline of the lecture. First, we are going to talk about the role of magic in modern Africa, then about the author, introduction to Things Fall Apart, summary of the novel, main characters, map of Igbo tribe, some cultural aspects of Africa, points of discussion, and references. African people believe that there are two magical people in their own societies. The first one is a black magic woman. As Ananya Johanara Kabir, in her own essay, Black Magic Women, Ancient, New, and Circum-Atlantic, defined a black magic woman as a voodoo priestess who creates voodoo spells with her dolls and hexes that represent female divinities with Yoruba roots, and caprice demons who acts as a spiritual gift to help her clan to win the battles. And as we know, Achebe didn't provide us any sign about a black magic woman, but about a witch doctor. And the name of the witch doctor in the novel is Okagbu Yuyuamna. And this witch doctor helped Okonkwo's second wife's daughter to gain her own health. Chinua Achebe was raised by his parents in the Ikpu town of Ogidi in southeastern Nigeria. He was a Nigerian novelist and critic, and his first novel, Things Fall Apart, the most widely read book in modern African literature. He won Man Booker International Prize, St. Louis Literary Award, and Peace Prize of the German Book Trade. Things Fall Apart is a post-colonial novel written by Chinua Achebe in 1958 and portrays tribal ties and customs of African villages, especially Mafia and European colonizers. We have two overall themes within the novel. The first one is humiliation by colonialism, and the second one is the corruption and inefficiency of colonial rule. It also critiques based on gender discrimination in African societies. Things Fall Apart portrays the life of a hero, Okonkwo, in Umuofia, the strongest village among other 7 African villages. Okonkwo is a well-known wrestler and a great example of patriarchs, treating his wives and children harshly. During the funeral ceremony of a clansman, he accidentally kills a clansman's son and is exiled. During his absence, Britain missionaries come to Umuofia and build a church and court. They accuse people of worshipping false gods. Okonkwo's first son, Nwoye, who is angry about his father's actions, converts to Christianity and almost kills his father. Okonkwo tries to remove these missionaries out of the village. He kills the leader of the court messengers and later hangs himself. We have some main characters in the novel: Okonkwo, Unoka, Oberika, Nwoye, Ikemefuna, and Egwefi, and Ezima. As we know, Okonkwo was a great wrestler and hard worker, and he was respected by all the people in not only Umuofia but in the 7 villages. And his own weakness was the thing that he was afraid of depicting as a woman. Unoka is Okonkwo's father, who was always playing music with his own flute, and he was so irresponsible and unable to provide his own household to for food and money. Overika is Okonkwo's a close friend, and he was so responsible and wise. And during Okonkwo's exile, he was the only person that helped him so much. Nvoy was Okonkwo's oldest son, and he was so sympathetic and emotional. He loved his mother's tales, and that's why Okonkwo depicted him as a woman. Ikemefuna was a person who was sacrificed by Okonkwo and his own clansmen, and he was loved by Okonkwo's family, especially Nvoy. Ikwefi was Okonkwo's second wife, and she was so beautiful and was the only person who stands up to Okonkwo, and she loved her only child, Ezinma, so much. Ezinma is Okonkwo's only child, and as Okonkwo mentioned, she had some male features within herself. That's why he wished her to be a boy rather than a girl. Here I have provided you with the map of Ikpu or Ibu town. Here is the town that Achebe was born and raised. Within the novel, we are dealing with some cultural aspects of Africa. The first one is drinking palm wine in the sky. As we know, in Umofia, they think that that when you are fighting with your opponent, you're allowed to just kill that person and use his skull in order to drink your own palm wine within that. And that was something like an achievement and a success for that person, and he will be so respected and in all by all the people within that village. And as we know, Umofia's people have their own cheese, and Chi, which is the personal god, was the thing that puts their own destiny on it. They believe that Chi is the only entity that just decides whether you will be successful or you will fail, and they rely on it so much. Yam was a man's crop in the novel, and also they believe that it must be just crop and plant and sow just only by men, and because it needed men's power and strength, and women cannot do that because they were weak. Kola nut has a bitter flavor, contains caffeine, and was served only to male guest leaders and tribal chiefs. And as Achebe mentioned, one who brings kola nut brings life. Kola nuts are used as a religious object and sacred offering during prayers, ancestor veneration, and significant life events such as naming ceremonies, weddings, and funerals. Another cultural element is whistling at night. They believe that you are not allowed to whistle at night because you will call all the wicked and evilish spirits and sometimes snakes upon yourself, and they come grab you to the grave. The Peace Week is so sacred, and nobody is allowed to commit any violations toward their neighbors and other people. Okonkwo breaks the peace laws in the Peace Week and beats his third wife. The priest gets so angry since Okonkwo brings the Mother Earth curses on their land. The priest offers him to pay fine and sacrifices to remove curses. Another magical element within the novel is an Ogbanje. As Achebe mentioned, an Ogbanje is a child, one of those wicked children who, when they died, entered their mother's wombs to be born again. They believe that this Ogbanje just has a cycle to be born and die, and it follows this cycle over and over to just torture his or her own mother. That is just the witch doctor's duty and responsibility to end to this cycle. In order to end to this cycle, he must find Iua. Iua is a smooth, shiny pebble that Ogbanje just hide it somewhere, maybe deep within the earth or within the ground. That's why that witch doctor must find it and destroy it. African folk tales are some tales that Africans use to explain natural phenomena in the physical world around. They can be about any simple or horrific natural incidents, from the thunderstorm to the turtle shell. In the novel, Egwefi narrated the reason why a turtle shell was not smooth and was like a jigsaw puzzle and stuck together. I have provided with some points of discussion. Do you think that Chinua Achebe used a type of magical realism within Things Fall Apart, and how? As we know, magical realism has two elements. The first one is magical elements, and the second one is realism. Realism part of the novel is the part that we deal with the colonizers, which is a fact, and that is true. And magical elements, we have discussed already everything about magical elements. Who does Okonkwo reminds you of? Yes, Odyssey. Odyssey, strength and manhood reminds us of Okonkwo, and Don Fernando's selfishness. And who does Okonkwo's second wife, Egwefi, remind you of? Cersei, yes. She was so beautiful. And she's actually opposite of Medea, because Medea didn't have any maternal love, in opposite of Egwefi. Which characters had the unusual love for their children in Things Fall Apart and in another text that we read? Egwefi and Medea, yes, because Egwefi had maternal love in opposite to Medea. Egwefi and Gregor's family, yes. Gregor's family didn't pay any attention to Gregor and didn't love him at all, but it is so vice versa to Egwefi. And Donna Joanna and Donna Clara. As we know, we discussed lots of unusual love in the Maria de Zayas story, but we didn't have such a thing in Things Fall Apart. So we have talked about every cultural aspects of the African societies and magical elements in their societies. So if you didn't understand the novel well, if you have some questions, please feel free to contact me and send me emails. Thank you so much.